3 home games down, and we've already seen it all. Drama, joy, and a little disappointment. Tonight, though, Luton Town are the visitors, and Argyle are looking to make some more special home park memories. All the build-up is coming your way over the next half an hour here on Argyle TV. 5 years since the Hatters last visited Home Park, and they come into this one having won their last 2 matches. Hello, good evening. I am Erin Black, and you are watching Argyle TV. And it's Friday night football here with us this evening. Argyle will be looking to get that special home park win over Luton Town tonight. Inspiration is adrift because we're ready to claim that first win over opposition since 2006. The atmosphere is, of course, building here under the lights at Home Park, and there's always something special about those late night games. You will, as always, be able to follow all of the action here with us over on Argyle TV. And because it's a Friday night, we've got match passes, both audio and video, available for you over on the website. You want to head to pafc.co.uk for all of the details on that, and make sure you stay with us throughout the night so we can follow the action as it goes. And joining me to follow all of the action is none other than Ian Stonebridge. And Ian, football under lights. It's different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. There's a nice little chill in the air, I think, as well. The pitch is looking really nice and slick, so I think, yeah, there's always a fantastic atmosphere, but yeah, particularly for these night games.
Yeah, these are always the moments for me where, especially as we're starting to, the autumn, wintry feels are approaching. I was weighing up whether to bring the scarf tonight, but I thought I'm saving it until at least October.
I've gone for the big coat.
I was going to say,
spots of rain,
Yeah. It always catches us, doesn't it? The rain, where we're positioned down here at the Devonport end, we're just right on the lip of the overhang. So we'll either end up getting pelted by the rain or the sprinklers. Keeping fingers crossed for neither, though, this evening, Ian. How are you, feeling? We know the last home game we had here, fantastic atmosphere, a real roller coaster of emotions for everyone involved. And hopefully a similar outcome, maybe not necessarily with all the whole palpitations that we had in that one.
Yeah, I think that home win was really important, not just the 3 points, but the fact it came against Sunderland, who were, riding so high in the league at the time as well. It gave confidence, I think, to the team to show them they can compete. They can compete with the best teams in the division,
yeah.
And arguably, although their position in the league table doesn't necessarily show at the moment, you'd expect Luton, coming down from the Premier League last season, to be one of those better teams, come the end of the season.
Yeah, well, exactly. We saw Argyle, arguably overperform against Sunderland there, against the odds a little bit. And like you said, with Luton here coming down, yes, they've won their last 2 games, but they have had a mixed start to the season. So it's still, as always, within Argyle's grasp.
It is, definitely. As you say, Luton won't, they would have hoped for a much better start. Despite those last 2 wins, I don't think their performances have necessarily maybe warranted those results. They'll be delighted to have got those points on the board, but it's still not quite the start that Rob Edwards would have wanted.
Well, we'll have a look at the teams now then. There are a couple of changes for Argyle, and we will, as always, start with the Argyle squad for you. We have got this evening Dan Grimshaw, Barley Mumba, Cornell Suge, Joe Edwards, Ryan Hardy, Morgan Whittaker, Michael Obafemi, Lewis Gibson, Darko JB, Adam Randall and Rami Al-Hajj. And on the substitutes bench, Marco Morosi, Jordan Houghton, Ibrahim Sissoko, Callum Wright, Mustafa Bundu, Brendan Galloway, Mohamed Tajani, Adam Forshaw and Victor Palsson. Ian, what are you making of that?
Yeah, I think is it really interesting, first of all? There's probably a few possibilities.
I don't know if anyone can see Pilgrim Pete or you're still on the team news at home, but if you can't see him, he's here. Oh, there he is. And Pete, before you go, prediction, please. 5-0. Okay. We're coming into a new season with unbridled optimism from Pilgrim Pete. I like it. And he has been the oracle before.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. We're in for a great evening. Back to matters at hand. The team, carry on with what you were saying.
Yeah, I think there's a few options probably in terms of formation and shape and things. Perhaps sticking to what they normally do. Maybe Obafemi comes in and plays out wide, which would be an interesting role for him, with Ryan Hardy through the middle and perhaps Al-Hajj, off the front in that number 10 role. Equally, there could be a back 4. maybe a three in midfield, so Randall, JB and Al-Hajj maybe slightly deeper, and then a slightly narrower team maybe going through the middle. So they might then look to rely on maybe Barley Mumba and Joe Edwards to provide a bit of width, on the flanks there.
And we've got this start from Al-Hajj tonight as well. I think it's fair to say people have been, pretty impressed with him so far from what they've seen.
Absolutely, I thought he was great when he came on here against Sunderland, got into those positions in between the lines, and if he does have that opportunity, I think, tonight to get on the ball and show that creativity, that's arguably what Argyle have perhaps been missing so far this season.
And when we're kind of preparing for the game, originally I was going to say Whittaker and Sissoko, the only two that have actually consistently started so far, but we've seen Sissoko's dropped to the bench this evening. Do you think Rooney's looking to kind of change some things around and really kind of experiment with the breadth of his squad?
Yeah, I think we'll probably find out fairly soon after kickoff when we see how they kind of shape up, whether Obafemi is out wide or whether he goes through the middle, or maybe even a different role for Ryan Hardy tonight. And as we say, where Al-Hajj is able to influence the game, I think is going to be really interesting. I'm sure he's trying to work out a system that can really ensure that he gets plenty of the ball in dangerous areas, and then he can hopefully hurt the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, there's method to, not that it's madness, but there's always method to madness. There's always a theory behind anything. I was reading something earlier on, somebody saying Wayne Rooney hasn't been wearing his baseball hat as much recently, and perhaps that is a sign that he is now comfortable here at home park. So, I mean, I'll be keeping my eyes out to see if he's wearing a hat tonight, whether that means something.
Yeah,
Any thoughts?
Think there are, football I think is notorious for its superstitions, so maybe there's something that's triggered that change for him.
Did you have any superstitions when you were playing?
No, I don't think so.
Not like a particular sock on?
I don't think, I probably had a habit that I did without knowing maybe, but I don't think it was quite fell as far as a superstition maybe. But
okay, well,
maybe I should have done, and I would have played higher.
Well, let's see if everyone on the Luton town side has got whatever good luck charms they need. This is their squad for this evening: Thomas Kaminski, Ruel Walters, Mark McGuinness, Tom Krause, Elijah Adebayo, Tahith Chong, Ted Mengi, Reece Burke, Jordan Clark is their captain, Zach Nelson and Alfie Doughty, and on their bench, James Shea, Mads Anderson, Victor Moses, Corley Woodrow, Marvellous Nakamba, Pelly Ruddock Mapanzu, Jacob Brown, Liam Walsh and Joe Taylor. We said already, and Luton have had a mixed start to their season. What do you think of the lineup they've put out this evening? Yeah,
I think there's obviously a couple of changes. We're kind of expecting those to be straight swaps in midfield. They'll probably line up with a back three and have wing backs that will look to get forwards and deliver balls into the box. So Walters on the right hand side and Doughty on the left, and obviously Adebayo up front. Morris did come on last game and got a couple of goals, but it's probably a good thing for Argyle to see that he's missing tonight.
Yeah, a complete lack of Morris, because this is one of the talking points we were going to mention, because like you said, first two goals in their last match, it's great that Carlton Morris isn't there.
Yeah, it is. I think, although maybe not a great performance, for him as a striker, coming into the game, getting a couple of goals, getting off the mark for the season, that always breeds confidence. And I think if he was coming into this game tonight and was starting the game, Argyle maybe look at that a little bit differently. As it is, Adebayo up there, not off the mark yet this season, and hopefully Argyle are able to keep him quiet tonight. Yeah,
Jacob Brown as well is on the bench this evening. He's been out since February. Do you think it's likely that we may see him on the pitch tonight?
Yeah, I think it's always a possibility, particularly with those players that are effective in more forward areas, that you might see them depending on how the game's going. Obviously, hopefully by that point, as Pilgrim Pete says, if Argyle are 5-0 up, we don't really mind if he comes on.
Yeah, exactly. They can do what they like at 5-0 up. Luton side as a whole, though, of course, they're used to playing in the Premier League last season. So do you think there is an element of adjustment still going, down a league to hang out with the likes of us?
Yeah, I think there is. They've obviously lost Ross Barkley amongst others, and I think when you look at the kind of calibre of him as a player, they had him really dictating games to them in midfield last season, and I think that's a big loss. And you look at perhaps their squad compared to other teams that have come down in recent years. Maybe you think about Leicester last season. They spent a lot of money and retained a lot of their star players, and with Luton, as you say, their squad probably changed slightly less when they went up and has maintained that consistency. And at the moment, they're just, as you say, having perhaps a slightly tricky period readjusting back to the Championship. Rob Edwards is an experienced manager and he knows that group well, so I'm sure that given time they'll start to turn the corner, but hopefully not tonight.
Do you think they would have expected to have a bit of a stronger start than the one they've had? Not that it's been particularly bad, but I suppose if you freshly relegated, you probably really fancy your chances in kind of sweeping the board off from the get-go.
Yeah, I think you would. I suspect though that Rob Edwards as a manager was careful not to kind of allow that complacency in. And as we know, we found out the Championship is a bit of a crazy division. Results are unpredictable at the best of times, and I think maybe Luton are perhaps suffering a little bit from that at the start of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what makes it so exciting,
Absolutely.
doesn't it? I'm just trying to glance behind myself and Ian to have a look at the away end here, but unfortunately I haven't put my contact lenses or my glasses in. I think there's quite a lot of people-shaped blobs down there, so it looks like they've brought the fans in force. I mean, I think for away fans, Friday night games probably actually quite nice. They may want to spend the weekend down here in lovely Plymouth.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess after maybe the travel after work, or if you can get Friday afternoon off work, depending on your circumstances, to make that trip. It's an interesting one. It's slightly new, isn't it? We're more used to, if you like, midweek games.
Yep.
Friday night, as you say. Hopefully we can get a great result tonight and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Oh yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? Friday night under the lights. We know Argyle have delivered before on an evening game, so hopefully they will be able to do the same again. And we've got to give a couple of shout outs to everybody getting involved on social media as well. And of course, if you haven't yet, do get in touch with us. Me and Ian have just been looking. Tatsumaki Bones over in Japan has been in touch, sending in some videos and pictures of his Argyle decked out room. I got to give a shout out to the Argyle USA guys. I've got their badge obscured by my hair here, but sending love to them over on the other side of the pond. And I must give a shout out to Jeff, who I met earlier today in Plymouth City Centre, and everyone watching in Thailand. Apparently there is a bar in Thailand, Ian, that has Argyle TV up on a big screen.
Oh, wow.
Like every time we play.
Fantastic.
So I need to find out where that is, and maybe we can arrange a work holiday over. Exactly, yeah, a field trip for learning purposes to meet everyone. So those are the shout outs. If you haven't had one yet, do get in touch because we'd love to hear from you. Let's hear from the manager now then, shall we? Wayne Rooney, 6 games into the season now, and he seems pretty happy with what he's seen from the side so far.
I think we're seeing connections over the pitch, and whether that's from, Dan Grimshaw or to Gibbo and Cornell and Rand. I think them four are really helping us in how we want to build and control games. And I think we're doing that really well, and we're causing teams a lot of problem in how they want to press us, and a lot of teams now press high and go man to man at times as well, and I think we're showing a real bravery in taking the ball and trying to play through that. We're doing that really well. I think we're getting up to the edge of the box really comfortably, and then it's that final bit. It's that I spoke to the players yesterday and today actually about having that hunger, that desire. It's that instinct in you to feel when the ball is coming into the areas, the little runs, getting across defenders, putting your head on things, that next step, having that real desire to go and score goals. And I think the minute we start doing that, I think we'll start taking a lot of points. So there's a lot of positives in what we're seeing. Of course, there's things we can improve on, but I think everyone's starting to see our identity, how we want to play and what we want to do. So I think it's a credit to the players, because that's been a very short period of time, and it will take time for us to keep improving, but I think we're showing really good signs. Yeah,
hopefully obviously we can put it all together into a nice performance on Friday night, with Sky TV here as well. On Luton, Gaffer, what are you kind of thinking about them? How do you see the game potentially going?
Yeah, they're an aggressive team, man to man. So again, we have to be brave and make good decisions with the ball. I think that's really important when you play against a team who go man to man, and they're a very physical team. They put balls in your box, so a lot of work as well on that in defending the box, and winning headers, winning first balls, second balls is going to be important on Friday. But what's important is we play our game, and I think if we do that, we'll cause them problems. We're certainly capable of winning the game, but we know we have to be at our best, and our concentration levels have to be very high.
Are you thinking the same thing, Ian, in regards to this identity that's kind of forging itself under Rooney's management?
Yeah, I certainly think there's been much more evidence, if you like, of how comfortable they are and how confident they are in going forwards as a team, understanding of what the manager wants. And I think it's fair to say, as the manager recognises, that it's that cutting edge, if you like, the final bit of quality, the final bit of finishing to get the ball in the net that maybe is just slightly lacking at the moment. But having said that, scored 3 goals in our last game here. So,
yeah.
I think players can take confidence from that, and hopefully we can see them continue to develop.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I mean, they know they have the capabilities. They know they've got it. It's just unlocking it in more than just one kind of big game. It's having that consistency of goals which we're missing.
Yeah, it is, and I think Al-Hajj has shown flashes of that, and that's presumably what the club have brought him in for, why he's been identified as a target, and they've obviously got that deal over the line. So I think I'm certainly really excited on what we've seen from him so far, that he can be the player. It's not just about getting to the edge of the box or getting into a dangerous area. It's about then the quality of the chance that's created. So can we create chances that are more dangerous, more likely to be scored? And I think Argyle have got players on the pitch, certainly in those forward areas tonight, that can take those chances if they arrive.
Yeah, and I mean, wouldn't it be fantastic if we were able to see a bit more of that creativity unlocking the goals on the pitch tonight? It'd be a perfect way to do it, and segue us into the winter. Luton, of course, haven't begun their season in the way that they might have expected, as me and Ian have alluded to. They were in the bottom 3 heading into their international break. However, as we said, they have won their last 2 matches to get them off and running, and that is very much something that their manager, Rob Edwards, is pleased about.
Just on Plymouth, I think they didn't maybe start the season as they wanted, but they did get a good result recently against Sunderland and pushed West Brom quite close, didn't they? So
they did.
They're kind of showing signs of going the right way, aren't they?
Yeah. Like I was saying then to Moose, their performances have been good. Certainly, I would say growing in confidence under a new manager and the way that they're being asked to play now. And they've got some really good threats on that top line, some tricky customers with some pace, and there's a real clarity in how they're playing. I like a lot of what they're doing, so yeah, it'll be a difficult game, another one.
I think Whittaker's a good player, they've got on loan as well, haven't they? So they've got some threats.
Yeah, obviously those two. Obafemi, if he plays, Hardy's really good and sharp and off the shoulder as well. Sissoko's a very tricky winger who can sort of go both ways. Obviously likes to come inside, but they've got some big threats at on that top line. The way they build and looking to try and take control of the game as well is good. You can see a lot of what they're trying to do.
It's taken them a little bit of time to find their feet, but there's still chance for them to stumble.
Yeah, there is. I think those results maybe disguise a little bit of luck. You've certainly watched their last game against Sheffield Wednesday. Fortunate perhaps with a penalty that's awarded and a red card that resulted from that. That's Carlton Morris's first goal penalty, and then the second one, I think there's a little inkling of handball by him as he scores it. So, those tiny little decisions, if you like, those little bits of luck that go your way can change results, but I don't think they're yet comfortable with the way they're playing in this division.
Yeah, well, we know they weren't in a good position prior to the international break. Of course, if they do win tonight, it will put them just outside the playoffs, but it doesn't really mean much at this stage in the season, does it? It
doesn't. I guess it's partly the fact it's a Friday night, games to come tomorrow, but equally at this stage of the season, as you say, 3 points can move you a long way in the league, but it's those types of results that can form the basis for a little run. They've got those 2 wins behind them. They'll be really, really working hard tonight to try and get the third, and as you say, put them in a good position in the league. By the same token, it's vital, I think, for Argyle they continue that good home form and start to make Home Park the fortress that it has been before. Well,
yeah, of course, Luton are the visitors this evening, so they have that against them because the 12th man is crucially important here at Home Park, and I think we're due for another sellout tonight, and everyone will be backing, ready to have another home win like we saw the other day, because it felt so good. Yeah,
it was fantastic. The atmosphere in here already is brilliant, and as you say, I think when the team give the crowd something to get behind, a nice attack, a chance at goal, some real positive play, a Joe Edwards surging run, the Green Army always respond. So a bit of that early in the game, I think, will stand them in good stead and create that kind of hostile atmosphere, if you like, for away teams to battle against.
And a final quick word from you, Ian. How do you think Argyle get off to a good start tonight? What's crucial to unlocking Luton?
Yeah, I think getting the ball into those good areas early on, hopefully with Al-Hajj in those forward areas where he can really hurt the opposition, and Hardy, Obafemi, Whittaker to get their shots on goal and test the Luton goalie.
Well, fingers crossed. You heard it from Pilgrim Pete. It's going to be 5-0. We're pretty much ready to hand over then on Argyle TV. So if you haven't got your match passes, grab them now. They can be bought over on the website, and that's pafc.co.uk. Head over now. There's still time. We've still got just under 10 minutes until kick-off. Charlie Price is doing the commentary with Katie Middleton this evening. Ian will be back again, of course, at half-time. Thank you for the pre-match show. Argyle versus Luton is coming up next.